Talking about assets, one of the big stories, of course, this week was Nyeri after the beatification.
Yes.
That seems to have been...
No, there was a good thing in Nyeri.
No, I mean, because the last time we heard about Nyeri in a big way was the beatification, which is a very solemn, you know, very spiritual, so to speak, exercise. Then now we come to the other side, and it seems like one of the men was saying in an interview, ni kama kuna mapepo. You know, Nyeri.
These Nyeri chicks are vicious, eh? But I don't know. And then the chick is 25. But I was also thinking about the same part I was discussing with DJ Genius prior to the show. And this guy, for him to have gotten so plastered to the point of someone chopping off some of your limbs.
No, no, it's not really about being plastered. In fact, what we were discussing with Julie was that any man who is close enough to you, you can cut off many of his things. I think that most of the women are just nice and they're not planning to cut off any of your things.
Why are there so many men walking around with their stuff? Because clearly...
No, but how does that happen? Because in a normal situation... Eric, you're in the middle. In a normal situation, if that happened, then that woman definitely would be a dead woman walking, literally. Because if you do that, then I mean, chances
when the guy was not as
he'll
high
react.
Yes.
But for that to happen, that your stuff is cut and I mean, what happens? Are you just sitting there? Oh, nasikia uchungu.
We're also wondering.
That is so
Mike,
funny.
that's really not it. I think that there's a bigger problem in central Kenya as a whole, actually, and I think those in the know that they need to do something about it. Alcoholism has you know, just reduced people who would otherwise really be helpful in this society to fight unhelpfulness. And women do not leave their homes to come and sit with you and look at you. They can do that back at home. So when you are not doing what you brought them from home to come and do, then it becomes it's not interesting for them. Other than that, their women are now working 3 times, 4 times as hard to take care of perhaps the children they've sired, the few or the ones they came with, I do not know, but then there's also that aspect. So these people are angry and they're taking out the anger on the people who married them or supposedly are supposed to take care of them. So it's really sad. I don't think that it's nice to walk without your engine. Generator, all those things that they're calling them. I've seen really interesting memes. But remember, women can dismember you.
Okay, women, where are the women? Hello. Look, guys, if it stops working, let's just not chop people's stuff. Like, really. It's okay for a relationship to fail. There's chances are that you're going to find a better relationship. So we could, you know, leave Mr. X, whose stuff you're tempted to chop, and you know, there's so many single mothers. My mom was a single mom.
No, I think it's
don't cut people's stuff off. Like if I chopped off your...
No, if you did it, it would be different. Of course, if a man
but
does
you see,
it,
what
it's a
would
whole
you chop
different
from
story.
us? You see, most of the things that we have are not exterior. What will you be chopping?
No, like it's somebody, you are sleeping and somebody you found someone on top of you, just try to cut off your breast.
Yeah, but why would they be doing that though?
Being of the same reason you're trying to...
No, for men it doesn't work like that. You know, for women, I think it's like it's been long. All the mistreatment or the harassment or the guy is not providing has been going on for a long time.
I wondered what you're talking about. It's been long.
It's been a while of this kind of treatment. There's something called diminished responsibility. It's actually like a legal term. It means after you've been under this kind of stress for such a long time that you actually lose the capacity to understand that what you're doing is actually wrong.
Like, so more like temporary insanity?
Kind of like temporary insanity. So she probably get off with it because the guy probably did something so horrible and has been doing it for so long. You know,
May God send away and kill all the women who would be in line to try and do harm to me.
Let's understand where this woman is coming from. Allegedly, like I told you, this guy had not come home for 2 days. He had been in a drinking spree. Then he comes home finally, overly drunk, but he had a condom in his
pocket.
pocket.
A very responsible man, if you ask me.
Now you see, when you vibe like that, that's when
yes, so the woman, I think, asked him, and then you know, maybe waited for him to black out and then just decided if this is the problem, you know, like the way the Bible says, if your right hand is the one that is causing you to sin,
there's no good enough reason for somebody to do such permanent
absolutely damage.
No, but is there a good enough reason for a man to treat a woman in a certain way?
Of course there is, but there's always so many options, like leaving and going away back to your mother's house.
But you've got children, you've been married to this guy, your whole life is invested in that particular situation.
So now you maim me because your life is invested in me.
Then he should have thought about that before he did what he was doing.
In fact, this is just MGM. And we've been talking about MGM.
What is MGM?
This is MGM.
I'm sorry, but
genital mutilation.
But the I would like to know though, Mike, have you confirmed whether they can sew it back? Put it back?
Well, the doctors in this particular case were trying to sew it back, but what I know from a cut finger, they say you have to put it in a certain kind of temperature, it has to be reserved, it has to be sewn back within a certain time frame. You cannot just leave it there. But I'm trying to think in Nyeri, like seriously, I'm sure that would probably happen after many hours. And after, you know, first of all, the people who will come and help you will be like, wow, wow, wow.
So is it there?
I remember there's a story about 5 years ago. A guy was suspecting, this was in Nyanza, a guy was suspecting of the wife to be cheating. And in protest, he took it upon himself, sharpened the knife and chopped off himself. And then he was asked by the cops, sasa umetupa, nimetupa huko, nimetupa huko mbali, Kisumu, actually.
He just took
he just took it off and he was just to make a, and then they looked for it in the bushes, found it, and
was it alive?
But does it work?
I don't know, I've not checked yet. I should go and,
That's my concern as it is, because then it's almost becoming a trend like the way people were dandiering women and, you know, undressing them all the time.
Yeah.
Because just yesterday there was another situation of another Nyeri, yes.
You see now that's the damage. Mike, that is actually what is going to happen now. Because now all the women in Nyeri perhaps are just like, God, ati uko wapi? Ina shida. No. Hata tumepika. Ulisema utakula nini? Tukuwekelee kanyama. Haya, tutawekelea kanyama tu.
Honestly, stop killing us.
Okay. Then when you come home, in fact, if I was a Nyerian man married to a Nyeri chick, I would not go dig. So I'd go back to my mother's house. Check in, nimekuasha. Na naogopa utanifanyia ile kitendo.